Hi guys, Steve from Vintage Classic 71. Here this week I'm going to try a little something different. I'm going to do a little series I'm going to probably run for a while. Pick 3 or 4 players and just show some of their cards. Some will be Hall of Famers, some won't be Hall of Famers. And we'll go over a little bit of their bio, their history and stuff. Just figured we not only could we see the cards, we could all learn more about the player himself. But I wanted to mention the great book I'm reading right now, Why We Love Baseball: A History in 50 Moments by Joe Posnanski. He also wrote the Baseball 100, which was a great book. If you get a chance, this is a very good book to read. It's broken up by moments in the game and stuff. Each moment's a different chapter, so it makes it easy to read. So you can stop, and pick up where you left off very easily. So that's a good book to read. Then I got a couple pickups this week. Not a lot, just a few. This one's not baseball, but it's Baylor Shireman, the Celtics young rookie this year. Came out of Creighton. I think he's going to be a good player for them. I saw it, so I figured I'd get it. Went to a new card shop in Plymouth, Massachusetts called Goat Sports Cards and Collectibles. If you guys get a chance, check it out. He's just starting off, but a lot of new product, but he's gradually, as he told me, he's going to be adding more vintage. Really nice owner. Like I said, it's very clean, organized. So if you get a chance, check out Goat Sports Cards and Collectibles in Plymouth, Mass. Very, very impressed by him. So, okay, that's where this card came from. Next, through eBay, I picked up a few more 76 Hostess to add to my collection. One's Bert Campaneris, the Oakland Athletics, great shortstop. Then we got Dave Parker, Pittsburgh Pirates. I already had Parker, but I had a little tear in it, so had to upgrade it a little bit. And then Darrell Evans, Atlanta Braves third baseman, big power hitter. All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start off. I picked 4 players. Sometimes it might be 3, depending on how many cards or whatever. And I'm gonna show their cards, and then I'll let me separate them here while I'm talking to you. I'll show their cards, and we'll go over their numbers and stuff too. First guy is going to be Carl Yastrzemski, the great Yaz. Years played. He played from 1961 to 1983. Hall of Fame was elected in 1989 with 94.6% of the vote, and that was by the Baseball Writers of America elected him. He debuted in April 11th, 1961 versus the Kansas City Athletics, and he went 1 for 5 in the game. His last game was 10-2-83. I remember this game because I remember watching it versus the Cleveland Indians, and he went 1 for 3. He's all-time. He has 3,419 hits. A lot of hits there. So 452 of those were home runs. He's got a lifetime batting average of 285. On base percentage of 379. 1967 MVP, the great 67 season, also the year he won the Triple Crown, which is the next thing I mentioned. 18-time All-Star, 7 Gold Gloves, 3 batting titles, All-Star Game MVP in 1970, and he went by the nicknames Yaz and Captain Carl. So here's a few of his cards. Here's a 1964 Yastrzemski. Here's a 1966 Yastrzemski. '68 Yastrzemski. '68 game card Yastrzemski. A '69 Yastrzemski. Got a little run on him here. I didn't pull all of them. I just grabbed a handful of them. '69 All-Star, Sporting News All-Star Yastrzemski. Here's a 1970 of them. Here's the 71. '72. 72 in action card. Love the action photos, you know me. 73 Yastrzemski. 74. Nice 1975. 1976, 1977, and 1978. Oh, and 1979. Forgot. All right, so that's Kyle Yastrzemski. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to each week pick out 3 or 4 players. Like I said, not always Hall of Famers, and I'll go over them. So next up will be the great B.Robinson, Baltimore Orioles. He played from 1955 to 1977. He was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1983 with 92% of the vote by the Baseball Writers of America. He debuted on September 17th, 1955 versus the Washington Senators, and he went 2 for 4 with an RBI. He played his last game on August 13th, 1977 versus the Oakland Athletics. He had no official plate appearances. So he finished his career with 2,848 hits, 268 home runs, a lifetime batting average of 267, and an on-base percentage of 322. He was a 1964 American League MVP, 18-time All-Star, 16 Gold Gloves, which is the most at third base in the history of the game. Also played the most games, I believe, like 2,870 games at third base. 1966 All-Star Game MVP. 1970 World Series MVP. He finished that World Series with a .429 batting average, 6 RBIs, and you guys all know about the great defensive plays he made there in that series. Nickname was the Human Vacuum Cleaner, which I didn't know, and Mr. Impossible, which I remember that name. But great third baseman. Him and Mike Schmidt are right there. Schmidt had more power, obviously. But here's some B.Robinson cards. We'll start off with a 60. Oh, I didn't put these in order. Let me, while I'm talking to you, I'll just run them in order. Here's a 67 of Brooks. Here's a 62. Here's a 69. I love B.Robinson, even though I'm a Red Sox fan. Really love this game. Here's a 69 Sporting News All-Star. 1970. 72. 72 is a beautiful card design. Here's a 73. Doing what he does best, playing third base. Here's a 74. Here's a 75. See the little short visor brim. Robin Brooks was famous for that. 76. 78. And a 78 record breaker, most consecutive seasons in one club. All right. So that was B.Robinson. Next up, and I have 4 of them for you today. Joe Morgan. Let me get his cards pulled separate from the other guy. All right. Joe Morgan played 1963 to 1984. Originally a Colt 45, Houston Colt 45, Houston Astros, and then was traded to the Reds. He made elected to the Hall of Fame in 1990 with 81.8% of the vote by the Baseball Writers of America. Debuted on September 21st, 1963 versus the Phillies. He went 0 for 1. Last game was September 30th, 1984 versus the Kansas City Royals, and he went 1 for 1. He has all-time 2,517 hits, 268 home runs, lifetime batting average of 271, on-base percentage of 392, National League Most Valuable Player in 75 and 76, All-Star Game MVP in 1972, 10 All-Star games, played in quite a few All-Star games, 5 Gold Gloves, 1 Silver Slugger. For those that aren't really aware, Silver Slugger is an award given for the best offensive player at each position in both of the leagues. So in other words, the best offensive second baseman that year was Joe Morgan. And his nicknames were Little Joe and the Little General. He was a big spark plug for those Cincinnati Red teams in the 70s. I know he did us in 75, but great player. Later on, he went on to be an announcer on ESPN with John Miller. Did that for a while, and unfortunately passed away a couple years ago. But that's Joe Morgan. So let's start off with some Morgan cards. We got a '66 Joe Morgan with the Houston Astros at that time. I love the old rookie cups back then, as opposed to today. See the it's Joe Morgan, a '72 Joe Morgan, still with the Astros at this point. But not for long, because here's a '72 traded, depicted in a Cincinnati Reds uniform. That year they wrote, you can't help but know he was traded. Big letters, traded. And he was left-handed. It was a trade that brought Joe to the Reds from Houston. I believe Lee May was one of the pieces that went the other way. Lee May, the power hitting first baseman, went to the Astros. '73 Joe Morgan. '74 Joe Morgan. '75. And '76. '77. '78. And 1979. All right. So that's Joe Morgan. Like I said, great second baseman, one of the greatest of all time. Not much more I can say about him. He more than deserved the Hall of Fame induction. Next up is a guy that Cubs fans love, Ron Santo, third baseman for the Cubs. He was a great defensive third baseman too. Played the hot corner very well for the Cubs for a number of years. In fact, he played from 1960 to 1974. He was elected to the Hall of Fame in 2012. He got 93.8% of the vote from the Veterans Committee. He didn't get elected within the time constraints for the baseball writers, which is a shame. So he was put in by the Veterans Committee, which was rightfully so. He debuted in June 26, 1960 versus the Pirates. He went 2 for 4, and he had 3 RBIs. His last game was September 29th, 1974, and that was versus the Oakland A's. At that time, he was playing for the White Sox, and he went 0 for 1. He finished his career with 2,254 hits. 342 of those were home runs. He had a lifetime batting average of .277, on-base percentage of .362. He was a 9-time All-Star, and he won 5 Gold Gloves at third base. Ron Santo, great player. Unfortunately, passed away young from one of the reasons. He was diabetic, and that strikes home with me being I'm a type 2 diabetic, but I got to be careful. And I've only became aware of that in the last year and a half. But it's something that you got to stay on top of. And Ron Santo was a great spokesman for that. Here's a 1964 of him. Nice looking card. Here's a 1965. That's one of my favorites from the 60s. That design, the 65 cards. Here's a 67 of Ron Santo. Here's a 69 All-Star, Sporting News All-Star. And you can see, I thought it was the eye of its fans behind him. Here's a 1970. Here's another 1970. It's an All-Star. Back of it, they had like a cartoon with a little story about it. This one says holds 5 fielding records for third sackers, third baseman, same thing. Here's a 71 of Ron Santo. Here's 73. Here's a 74. I go this way. You can, you can't. I was hoping you could see the ivy, but you can't on there. And here's a 75 with the White Sox. That's why I told you when his last game was against the Oakland A's. Yeah, he had for that year with the White Sox. He had 5 homers, 41 RBIs, and he had 221. So he wasn't playing much at that time. That's all I have for this week. Again, thanks so much for supporting my channel, for watching me. Let me know in the comments what you think about picking out 3, 4, 5 players each week and showing their cards and going over their careers. Like I said, they're not all going to be Hall of Famers. Some of them are going to be average players, minor stars, big stars, whatever. But I just thought it'd be a good way we could all learn more about the player, other than just Hall of Fame, whatever. I hope you guys have had a good week last week, had a good weekend. My wife and I did some yard work in the yard. In particular, I like when I cut the grass, I like the lines to be all nice. And she does the flowers and all that stuff. But so we get out there, and of course with the allergies and the pollen is really bad this time of year in Massachusetts. Hence that's why my voice is the way it is. But again, thank you so much for the support. If you haven't subscribed, by all means, please do. I try to come up with new ideas. This is something I came up with. It'll be a series now that I'll do in the coming weeks. I'll pick so many players, and this will probably run quite a while. So, and of course, I'll mix in some other things, additions, and some other sports. So it's not just always baseball. Although that's my love, baseball and hockey. Those are the 2 sports. Probably do something similar with hockey down the road. So again, thank you so much. Keep on collecting. May God bless you and your family. And that's about it. I hope everybody's enjoying their spring, getting ready to go into summer. Got the Florida Gators on. Not that I'm a Gators fan. I just like the last year when we were down in Florida, my wife and I got all different types of T-shirts, teams, and all. But we're gonna throw this on, add a little color to it. So, but again, thank you. I hope you have a great day, and thank you for the support.